Hey everyone, Joe Ordia here for Solar Surge. And today I'm really excited to introduce you all to Michael and Harold from Urban Solar. They're our brand new premier installation partner in Florida, and they're doing some things that I haven't seen any solar installation companies do in the past, in terms of not only offering what I would consider the best of breed equipment, but also offering some best of breed warranties and guarantees at the installer level to make sure that solar performance and the payback is really a no-brainer and a lock-in for the homeowner. So Michael, Harold, good morning, and thanks a lot for joining us today.
Absolutely. Good morning, Joe. Thank you.
Good morning, Joel. Thank you so much for having us.
No, absolutely. It's great. It's great to have you guys on, and love to introduce you to our audience. A lot of it being in the Florida market. So, Michael, if you don't mind, just to start out, tell us a little bit about the history of Urban Solar. How did you decide to get into the solar business,
Sure.
and where does it come from here?
Sure. Yeah. So I was actually working for an electrical contractor, and they were doing a solar project, and it was kind of a one-off. And I ended up getting a bit of experience in the solar industry, and I thought this is pretty cool. And I was doing some research, and I was seeing how things were going in California. I saw solar really exploding in California, and I was watching Solar City and all these companies kind of do their thing, and it just looked really exciting. And something in my core and my spirit told me that this is the future, and that this is going to become really mainstream for us as we transition to more clean energy for America. And so I literally just I left that job. I went and applied for my solar contractor license, got my license, started the company servicing solar systems on the east and west coast of Florida. And then from there, just kind of selling one project at a time, just getting out there, educating homeowners and educating people on, number one, the fact that I exist, and number two, how solar works, why it makes sense, and why they should do it. And it was a tricky time. It was definitely a tricky time in the beginning. There was no home improvement financing available. The majority of my customers were paying cash, and the payback was a lot different. That was 8 years ago. The payback was a lot different, and the financials were a lot different versus what we see today. And so fast forward from that time, which was around 2014 to today, we're a company of 43 people, and we're constantly growing. We'll probably add another 10 people this year. I think that we've gained a tremendous amount of experience from the things that we've seen, and I've been able to lead the team, I believe, pretty effectively based on watching the history of solar, especially in Florida, kind of start to go from its infancy more towards maturity.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's been very exciting. I've been in the industry roughly the same time window, and it's been great to see how things have gone from what I thought was a very sort of unique small community of solar and environmental enthusiasts to now it's solar really becoming a mainstream technology for the benefit of all homeowners.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's been great. Now, one thing I heard you say, Michael, is that although you're a small business, you approach management of the business like a Fortune 500 company. Can you tell us a little more about your approach and your process and how you run the business?
I definitely can. Yeah, we are. I mean, and a lot of this comes from me, but I'm so fortunate to have such a strong team with me on this journey. I really wouldn't be able to do it without them. So kudos to my leadership team and the rest of the company for just being on board and just sharing in the culture. But I really have a strong affinity for efficiency. I have a strong, a deep desire to create and always work to perfect systems, the systems in which we work. So what I mean by operating like a Fortune 500 is, we're not afraid to invest in the company. We're not afraid to look for better opportunities and take us from one platform to another platform if it means gaining efficiency for our team, gaining efficiency for the other companies and homeowners that we work with, and we're constantly doing that. And we're approaching this thing like a practice. Like we're trying to find the best way to constantly just tweak and modify and calibrate what we do in order to be the best that we can possibly be. And that could be the best company in the world, or it could just be the best us that we could possibly be. And so that's kind of just always been our approach. Just always, just always looking for the best way to do things.
Well, that's really refreshing to hear that, because, as you probably know, some of the players out here in this industry are not really having a long-term view. They think, well, I'll get into solar. Maybe I'll make as much as I can for the next 3 or 4 years, and then I'm going to get out and move on and do something else. So it's nice to hear that, having that long-term approach and constantly looking at ways that you can improve the business and improve the process.
Yeah, and I can tell you, just to comment further on that there's really no other way that we could have survived in the solar industry itself in Florida had we not taken that approach, because there really wasn't an industry for a very long time. And so we had to stay really lean, and we had to do what we needed to do with minimal resources, no investment whatsoever in the company. We just bootstrapped it and we hustled. And it was about being adaptable. It's kind of about just needing to, knowing when we need to make change and then making that change, and just staying with the big vision in mind. We've always had, especially me, I've always had the vision of long term and not just, what's the industry doing this year. It's always about where we're headed in the longer term.
Right. And I would also like to say that a lot of the implementations that we do as an executive team is centered around the customer experience. So we put the homeowner first. Everything we do, all our processes, our procedures, is how is the homeowner going to benefit from this? Not Urban, but the homeowner. How does it impact the homeowner over a 25-year period of time? Our passion is to build and manage, right? Make sure that the homeowner has the most pleasant solar experience for about 25 years, because that's our contract, right? That's what we're going to guarantee. Everything we do is around the homeowner. It's not around Urban. It's not around the policies. It's not around the industry. It's around the homeowner. And that speaks volumes for our executive team and the way Mike runs his company as well.
That's great, and that's one of the concerns too for us. As a sales partner or a dealer partner, when we look at which installers to partner with, that's one of the things that we're super concerned about is, hey, we invest a lot in really working with the homeowner through the design and selection process. But once it comes time to actually turn that design to a real working system on the roof, that's when the installation partner has to come in and take it over. So for us, I know it's always something that we're looking at is, how can we partner with installers that are going to provide excellent customer experience after, we've sort of done our part with the experience designing leading up to the point of sale, but then someone that can take that forward and run with it, as you said, for the next 25 years, because it's not just a matter of getting the panels on the roof, but it's keeping that system healthy over the period of 25 years.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
So on that note, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because Harold, I understand that you all offer just about the best energy production guarantee that I've heard of in the solar industry, with the 100% energy production guarantee. Could you explain to our a little bit how that works, please?
Absolutely. And it goes back, it resonates again with my previous statement that we're all about the homeowner. So peace of mind is very important for us as homeowners, as well as business owners and executives, to make sure that we understand that we're going to stand behind whatever we quote our homeowners and our clients, right? So we will stand behind whatever annual production Urban Solar quotes to the homeowner for the next 25 years. And we'll write it up in our sales agreement. We do an annual anniversary review. So at the anniversary date annually, a service team will get together with the homeowner and take a health check up of the system to make sure that they're producing what we stated it was going to produce. If the system underproduces, we are going to write a check back to the homeowner at whatever the retail rate is from the utility at that time. For instance, if the homeowner underproduced 1,000 kilowatts less annually than we had quoted on our sales agreement when they originally decided to go solar, we're going to write them back a check at the 12 cents retail rate, which is $120. And we're going to do this year after year for the next 25 years at 100% of what we quoted from the original site agreement date. It's unheard of, but we want homeowners to understand that we stand behind solar. We're passionate about it. and you know we are in it to win it with them. You know, when a homeowner joins Urban Solar and that solar gets in the roof, you know, they become part of us, and you know, you always take care of your family, and this is the reason why we implemented that process.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. And yeah, again, guys, you know, long-term perspective. And I know many of you watching this video are in the process of evaluating, you know, whether solar is a good investment for your home, or if so, you know, which installer or which equipment should you use. You really want to make with partners that have that long-term perspective, because, you know, I just hate to say it, there's too many bad actors out there that are just in it to make a quick buck. And you know, that maybe they're selling too cheap and they go out of business, or maybe they're selling cheap equipment and it's going to break down in 3 or 5 years, and you know, they may not honor the warranty to come back and fix it. So it's really, really important to be working with partners that have that long-term perspective. You know, this is a 25-year partnership, marriage, you know, joint venture, whatever you want to call it, but it is a long-term venture here. So, so guys, if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about equipment, because I know you all are offering some of the leading solar panels, some of which I've covered, some of them I haven't covered yet. But I understand you are offering the new Aptos DNA 440 watt panel, which is, from my understanding, one of the best panels as far as harsh weather conditions, high winds, snow, hail, but also looking with Qcells, Jinko panels. Can you tell us just a little bit about, you know, the equipment that you offer and why?
So you know, we try to find tier one. What that means is like the panels that are best suited for our climate here in Florida, right? We are a homegrown Florida company. We're probably the oldest Florida, installers, contractors, and solar here in Florida. So we understand how to operate and navigate through our weather, our climate, and that you have to take all that into consideration when it comes to solar power generation. So we try to maximize the ability for the solar power, solar panels to, give the most consistent performance year after year at an affordable price for the homeowner. And, we work with companies like Aptos 440, which, by the way, Joe, you did an amazing job, doing a review on that panel. It's an incredible panel, 30-year warranty, have cut cells, 9 bus bars, which means that, no matter what happens to half of that, the other one's going to produce, and that's really important in our weather. We also take a look at the temperature coefficient. Florida is a very hot weather, especially in the summertime. The heat is not a friend to solar power panels. So you have to find a panel that has a very low temperature coefficient so that you can, your loss of production during the summertime is less than other panels will be. So we take all that into consideration. This is why we feel comfortable with our 25-year production guarantee. It all has to do with what we put on the roof, and we want to make sure that it's quality oriented so we can stand behind the warranty that we provide to the homeowner.
Yep. Yeah, and the panel that we're using, the Aptos panel, it is all black, which we find is a really aesthetically pleasing panel for most homeowners, especially those who might be concerned about the look of the panel on the roof. When you integrate an all black panel on the roof, much like the one that's over your right shoulder, Joe, when you integrate a black panel on the roof, it almost looks like it becomes a part of the roof, which is really just very attractive to us. And we've heard a ton of feedback from customers about that, having that desire to obviously maintain the look of their house and add something that really enhances that look. So we're big fans of the Aptos panel. We're also, so to switch gears from the panel, we are also huge fans of Enphase. All right, so Enphase is our microinverter. So this product is just by far the superior product in the industry. Okay, as far as we're concerned, superior performance, superior production, meaning it will yield the most energy out of pretty much all of the other products that are out there. And then lastly, it has the best warranty coverage out of any product out there. It has a 25-year warranty, manufacturer warranty. And their claims process is very, very, very simple. I mean, we've, of course, had to do a couple claims with Enphase, but it's not a situation where with some of the other manufacturers that other companies might be selling, you can get the product fast. I've heard some really terrible stories about customers who are actively in a warranty claim situation, and they can't get the product. So their system's down. Their system's not producing. And that is one of the beauties of Enphase is number one, if one of the microinverters does end up having a problem, which is very rare, it's like less than 0.1%. Of all installs. But if one of them does end up having a problem, it doesn't shut down the rest of your system. The rest of your system works because it's a decentralized way of producing power from your solar panels. We love it. We are exclusive with Enphase, have been since day one. Again, I feel like it really gives the homeowner a lot of insight and information into how their systems operate, and because of how great their monitoring system is. And I can even show an example of that if you want, because I did just do the Aptos 440 black panel and the Enphase IQ7 Plus on my home just recently.
That's great. That's great. Now we're definitely fans of Enphase here, and it's part of the portfolio and the repertoire. But it really is the inverter system that's going to have more impact on the functionality and the reliability of that system.
It's true. Yeah, I mean the solar panels are made so well. I mean, it's like kind of like what Harold said. I mean, we look for panels that are tested to the extreme, and so the beauty of the Aptos panel and a lot of the other panels that we use is they're tested like they're made to survive in the desert with no natural resources whatsoever, and they'll exist there for 50 years. And so we love that. We love that about these products and how long they're going to last.
Okay. Now, I understand that Urban also offers a military and first responder discount for the solar panel installation service. Harold, can you explain a little bit how that program works?
We have deep discounts for our military brothers and sisters, as well as first responders. As a former Marine, it's an honor for me to provide this opportunity to help, military, present military, first responders, an opportunity to go solar and extend our gratitude for the service to this country in the form of a discount.
Having a longer term perspective and being in the solar business, how would you say things have changed recently in the past 5 years, but also especially in the past 2 years? How has the solar business changed in this new age of COVID?
Wow, that's a great question. Yeah. Over the last 5 years, what I've seen is that there have been solar's become more available to more homeowners and business owners too. The pricing has gone down and become extremely affordable, and the products are just amazing. There's new financing methods for people who maybe don't want to pay cash for their system, and those financing options make it extremely cash flow. They make a lot of sense on the cash flow side of things, meaning you can get yourself into solar for $0, and your payment for your solar could be the same or less than your savings. So you could be cash flow positive immediately. Over the last 2 years with COVID, it was a strange time. I mean, we weren't really sure what direction it was going to go. But what I noticed, I think Harold noticed this as well, but what I noticed was that when people started going back to their houses and spending more time at home, not only were they looking at their life as a whole, of course, but they were paying attention to things like their energy usage. And people were noticing how much their energy usage was costing them on a monthly basis. And I believe that people noticing that created this absolute surge of interest in rooftop solar. And that's why I believe the industry right now is doing so well. We've got a tremendous amount of interest coming from all over the state of Florida, all customers from all walks of life. And we're putting more solar panels up on roofs than we ever have before. And so we're lucky to be able to do that through this tough season, and see some benefit from what really looked like it was going to be a potentially grim situation.
Yeah. No, I know many of us had to sort of reimagine our businesses when COVID hit. I know that solar installation is exempt in most of the states where we're operating. It's considered an essential industry, part of the construction industry. But I can tell you, from our side of the business, meeting face to face with homeowners in their, in their dining room, that kind of went out the window for a whole year. Mm-hmm. And part of why we invested so much in the virtual and with our social media is because we knew we just weren't going to be able to talk to as many people face to face as we would have, prior to all of this with the lockdowns and everything.
Yeah.
One other question, because you had touched on, Michael, the importance of having financing options with solar, and it makes it more available. Why is it so important right now, or maybe a better way to say it is, with interest rates currently at historic lows, but government officials now talking about potentially raising interest rates this year, why is now one of the best times to go solar?
Yeah, I mean, we have some of the most competitive and low rates ever for borrowing money. I mean, it's just amazing. And so when you're thinking about a need-based expense, right? Like, you have to use electricity. No matter who you are, you have to use electricity. So what you can do right now is you can basically borrow the cost of solar at close to cash and be able to finance the cost of a solar system, which is really financing the cost of your future electricity at an extremely low rate. That's like I said, it's very close to cash at this point, and that's a really big deal, because nobody had ever really thought about pre-purchasing 25 years of their electricity, and nobody could really do that. Nobody goes to the gas station and buys 25 years worth of gas, because it's just not on anybody's radar. And nobody invests in petroleum refineries and puts them in their backyard so that they can have their own gas at a cheaper rate for the rest of their life. But you can do that with solar. You can do that with the electricity that your house uses. And with the rates being so low and being able to easily get approved, today's the day. Now is the time to make the switch and to pay less for electricity. Now is the time to do it. No question.
Jason, I'd like to give you an opportunity to put forth whatever information you'd like. So if you don't mind sharing with us, you originally brokered this partnership between Solar Surge and Urban Solar. And for those of you who don't know, Jason is our head of sales here at Solar Surge. So he manages our virtual sales team. Jason, why were you so adamant that we bring Urban Solar on board as an installer for the Solar Surge family?
Well, I think naturally I gravitated towards the aspect of following a happy homeowner, to why. And so what happened is I lost. There was somebody who I was representing a customer, and hopefully they were going to go with, at that time, the installer I was representing, and they didn't. And I said, well, gee, who did you go with and why? And they were very friendly, and they said, look, I went with Urban Solar because what did they highlight? The 100% guarantee. And so interestingly enough, it was not only that, they also put out the finer point that the Jinko panel that was suggested for the system, there was a factory right in Jacksonville. And so in an era where, made in American is a constantly evolving phrase, that company invested in the state of Florida. So it meant to them, real peace of mind in what system they were getting. They liked that somebody was going to come back and calibrate every year. And they liked that the company that had the panel on the roof had invested in the state of Florida, giving jobs. And that, that means that if the panel's out, it's going to be there. So there were several really great reasons. I said I couldn't pass that up. And so I chased, I just called, Urban, and ended up speaking to Harold. And I think we wrapped it all up within 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today to tell your story and to present your company to the audience here and to the community. Really appreciate what you guys are doing. We're looking forward to the partnership and to doing a lot of making a lot of solar powered homes with you guys. Any last items that you'd like to cover before we end the recording?
We're very proud and honored to be part of the Solar Surge family. You guys do an amazing job educating homeowners as to, how solar works and all the great opportunities out there, and what equipment should be used to make sure that you know, they maximize their investment for the next 25 years, 30 years, whatever the case might be. And you know, I'm happy that we were able to service your clients. You know.
Yeah, I echo those thoughts as well. I'm just very thankful for the opportunity and the partnership from Solar Surge. And one of our kind of mottos is we just want to do good business. And that's for Solar Surge and for all those homeowners out there. We just want to do the right thing and just represent the industry in the best way that we possibly can and the best way that we know how. So we look forward to doing that.
Yeah,
excellent.
And you know, our motto is very simple. we're simple people. You know, we're people working with people, man. You know, and you know, we're humble people here, and we have 3 sayings as a company, and we live and die by this: is don't be a jerk. You know, if we mess it up, we own it, and 5-star reviews. You know, that's what we live by. So, you know, it's that's what we're about, man.
That's it.
That's great. Well, listen, congratulations, guys. It sounds like you have built a successful business, and it sounds like you're poised to continue to grow, and to do that by really taking care of your clients the best that you can. So, again, really like what you're putting out. Love the long-term approach that you're taking to all of this, making sure that homeowners are successful going solar long-term, and that's why we're very excited to have you on the team here at Solar Surge. So again, guys, this has been an introduction and a roundtable discussion here with Urban Solar and Solar Surge. They are our premier solar provider for the state of Florida, and hopefully in the future in other states as well. But right now, for covering all of the state of Florida. As always, if you're in the process of evaluating solar options for your home and you'd like to get a price quote, or maybe you've already talked to a solar company, you want to get another quote for comparison, feel free to reach out to us. We'll have links below, as we usually do. And we'd be happy to show you just exactly what's available in Florida, especially with the 100% production guarantee, to make sure that for whatever reason, if your solar system doesn't produce what it's supposed to, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that for you.
Yep.
Well, folks, thanks again for tuning in today. As always, Joe Ordia here, encouraging you to get prepared and be empowered. We look forward to see you on the next video.